Hey, I am Lowly Jane, an animal communicator, and today we are going to talk about soul animals. So, this is a beautiful subject. I know it's a painful subject. So, a lot of us have lost our animals. But I want to share with you what I've learned with my animal communication practice. It's an amazing journey that we take with our animals. So our animals incarnate with us over and over and over again. They come into our lifetimes, sometimes as different animals. My animal was a mini American Eskimo, and this animal also incarnated as a female miniature poodle and a white cat. And they all did look alike, but they had different personality traits. So your animals will come to you from many lifetimes, and they'll incarnate with you to help you with your lessons. So they know what your lessons are ahead of time. You may not even know them, but they know because they come in service to you. Sometimes they come back to you very quickly. I've had cases where the animal passed and the reincarnated animal came back within, like a 3-week period, including my own. So let me tell you my story really quick. So my dog Frosty, my beloved soul dog that I loved so much, I had to put him down, and it was very, very, very painful. And somebody tried to get me a cat after that, and I'm like, no way, I'm not getting any other animals as long as I live. And sometime after that, it just popped in my head one day to get a cat on my own. And so I went to the adoption pages, and I looked through what was like hundreds of pictures of cats. I literally, out of hundreds, picked one. I'm like, that's the one. And I called them up. I said, I want to adopt this cat. They said, it's not ready yet. It'll be ready in 2 weeks, and we'll meet you at Pet Supermarket. So I met them at Pet Supermarket, and when I was driving there, I promised myself that if I was not immediately in love with this animal, that I wouldn't take it, because I was so distraught over losing my dog. So I walked into Pet Supermarket. I took one look at this creature. I ran to the cashier, and I'm like, that's my cat. Nobody take it. But I still didn't know. I was not an animal communicator at this point. I was just a regular person who loved animals. So when I took the cat home, I was instantly in love with this cat. It was named Cloud. It was all white. It looked just like my dog, because my dog used to look like a cat. He had pointy ears, and he looked like a large cat. And this cat looked just like him, actually. Except this was a girl and had a little gray cloud over her forehead, so called her Cloud. And she was born literally the same time my dog was put down. But I never put two and two together. So my cat would do these very particular behaviors that I never understood. It wasn't all the personality traits. It was one or two behaviors that you have to look at and go, this looks familiar. So when I had my dog, I had a cat also, and I installed a doggy door in a new house and had the dog and the cat go outside in the balcony and go in the litter box. But the boy dog, Frosty, missed the box all the time and peed around the box. My cat would go in the box, and Frosty would at least not go in the house. And I was working all day and not able to come home. So we'd pee around the litter box. And then the other thing is, my dog loved the snow. I lived in Washington State at the time. My dog loved the snow. He used to run huge circles around the snow in this clearing in a forest that we would go in the back of my house. And that was his favorite thing. He bit a hole right through my leg one day, just being happy. That was his like joyful thing. So lo and behold, this cat runs outside. Cloud runs outside and runs all these circles around the yard trying to tell me something, but I never got it. I just never got it. And would pee around the litter box, even though she was a girl, and I tried everything. I'm like, oh my God, it's the litter. I changed the litter. I'm like, I talked to a vet, about behavioral stuff. I tried everything, and it was kind of a mess because I had to clean it up all the time. But I never understood, and I never realized, and I never knew that this cat was trying to show me two behaviors that Frosty did. So I come to find out this after the fact. So I couldn't hold on to this cat because I had to move and I couldn't find a place to live, and unfortunately I lost this cat. I gave it away. So later on, when I became an animal communicator and I found out that it is not everything, it'll be one or two personality traits, it was like, oh my God, this light bulb went off. And I was like, that is what Cloud was trying to show me. That's it. So your animal that you have now may have been an animal from another incarnation. And also could have been incarnated many, many times with you. So look for one or two personality traits. If you would like me to do an animal communication session, I can ask the animal if they've ever been with you before. I can ask the animal about the past lives with you. I could also do a past life session with them and you on your life issues. So it turned out that Frosty had been with me many lifetimes, and in this one has been 3 of my animals, and in other lifetimes has been many, many animals that I've always had, but always white. I've always had this obsession with white animals. So that's my story about Frosty. So your animals, they could have incarnated with you. There could have been, whatever took place in your prior lifetimes. They could have been a human. I mean, some animal communicators will disagree, but I've talked to many animals that have given me historical, factual, accurate. I Googled, double checked, and it was like factually accurate, historical dates, names, places, wars, all that kind of stuff. So I have had animals in client sessions that told me they were human before. So I think that is a possibility. They could have been another animal that you had. And so they come to you lifetime after lifetime to help you through your lessons, help you through the karma, help you get past where you're at. And so they want to be by your side because they're in service to you forever. And you have such a love bond. And so I have seen recently that I've had a lot of clients that their animal passed, and I always ask the animal, are you coming back to your person? I ask if they're gonna come back to you, what'll be the signs, and how will they know, how will they find you, so on and so forth. And I've had a lot of cases lately where the animal left and it came back really quickly, because I think right now we're needing a lot of help with our lessons, with ourselves, with awakening, and everything else. So I think your animals in service to you are really, really, going to bat for you and helping come back and get you through whatever period of time you need to get through. And you can connect yourself with the animal and try to figure that out. You could do a session with me where I can ask them directly. And then also when they're ready to leave, when your animals are ready to leave, I call that the end of life decision. So when they're having to do the end of life decision, I can also ask them before they leave. I can ask, are you going to come back to your person, and what will be the signs, and how will they know, how will they find you, and all that stuff, and what animal they've chosen, and what lessons they've chosen, and they can decide right then and there. Some will say I have to think about it for a minute, but I feel like they're coming back very quickly to us right now because we really need our animals. And I just want to share with you that you do have soul animals. They do incarnate with you over and over again, and it's not your imagination. In a household, there'll be a person who they're more connected to. Like if you have a whole family, they'll be connected to one person in the family. It's not, they know all the other family members because we incarnate in soul groups, just like your soul families, your human families. We also have the furry ones, or the winged ones, or the hoofed ones, whatever. So our larger soul families encompass all of our animals as well. So when they reincarnate within a family, they do know the other family members, but they're connected with one particular person because that's the person that they incarnate with over and over and over again. And in the lifetimes that you reincarnate, you may not be incarnated every lifetime with all the human members of your family. So you may skip some lifetimes where there's some of the human members, but you'll have your animals. So like I said, they're connected with mainly one person, and that person usually knows because the animal will follow them around. When I ask the animal, who's your person, they'll tell me. When I ask the person which one is the primary connector, and they know. So you usually know this. Let's see. So it's a beautiful, beautiful gift that our animals come. They bring us so much help for the lessons. I've had animals that I've talked to in spirit, so I can also talk to animals in spirit once they've passed and they've gone over the rainbow bridge. I can talk to them. So what they've shared with me is that sometimes they have to go into a training mode. And I've actually, in different moments in time when they've passed, they're doing different things. So some are just resting. They're having R&R after having, the earth life. And they're tired and they just need rest. And then later on, if I talk to them, they'll be in a different stage. But I've had animals tell me that they're in training. And I said, oh, what are you in training for? This is not one animal. This is many people's animals have told me this. They say that we're in human training. And I laugh at that because, my God, we send them to animal training obedience. We're the ones that need the obedience training, not them. So I have to laugh because they call it human training school. And I said, oh, what do you learn in human training school? They said, oh, well, we're going to come back to our humans, so we need to know how to take care of our humans. I'm like, that is awesome. That's amazing. That's really amazing if you stop to think about it. So there they are. They're in the, whatever we're calling it, the other dimension, the heaven realm. I like to refer to it as a good place, like the Netflix show. It really is like the good place. It looks like it too. And they're in human training school so they can learn how to handle their humans or how to help them with their lessons. They learn what the lessons are. They're reminded how they can assist their humans when they come back. And then they also learn, I've had them tell me that they're talking to councils, and I guess that's their own councils and guides that are going to help them reincarnate into a physical body, and to find out the details of that, what animal they want to choose, the specific lessons that they're going to be working on with their human, and a lot of other details, how they're going to be found. I'll tell you the Frosty story, how I found him. So, pay attention to your dreams, number one. I would say pay attention to any thoughts that pop in your mind. Keep a little journal or visions of an animal. Because what happened to me, like I said, I was not an animal communicator at this point. But I dreamt about Frosty for 10 years. For 10 years this went on. That I kept dreaming about this white dog over and over and over. I thought it was symbolic, so I'm looking up all the dream symbols. You know, what does white mean? What does white dog mean? What does white animal mean? You know, and I thought it was like just a symbolic kind of thing that I was dreaming about. Something about myself. And then as time progressed, when it got closer to me actually finding Frosty, the dream became clearer and clearer and clearer, and I actually knew what kind of breed dog it was. And I knew that I was actually dreaming about a certain dog. So I looked up that breed, and by the time it got to the point, and I still didn't know I was getting a dog, I ended up taking this job, ended up being transferred to Washington, and I decided right then and there I'm buying a house and getting a dog. So I lived in Southern Cal, where it's, you know, really hard unless you own a house to have a dog, and I didn't because I was renting. So, unbeknownst to me, I'm buying a house and getting a dog. So it all happened very quickly. I had bought a house that was under construction, and it hadn't been even built yet, and I was staying with some people. They decided one day that I was getting a dog. They're like, come on, we're going to the shelter, we're going to get you a dog. I'm like, no. I said, number one, my house isn't finished yet. Number two, I don't even know what kind of dog that will even fit in this house, because it was like a split level, like actually 3 levels, like a townhouse, and very vertical, lots of stairs. So I was like, oh, what kind of dog? And then third, I'm not getting any dog unless I get a white mini American Eskimo. Period. That's what I want, because that's what I dreamt about, right? So they're like, come on, let's go to the shelter. So something happened. That was in the morning. They were trying to drag me there, kicking and screaming. So something happened. I don't remember what, but we got delayed in the morning. Okay? So in the morning, we didn't go, but we went in the afternoon. So we walked in, and I go around all the cages, and lo and behold, there is a white mini American Eskimo. Swear to God. So I got in front of the cage. I looked at him. And I was like, God, I wanted a puppy. He was 6. You know, I wanted a puppy. So I literally said, oh my God, I wanted a puppy. And he does one of these numbers. So this is the bottom. He has his head up here. When I said that, he goes like this and stares right at me in the eyes. And I'm like, oh my God. So I said, hey, can I, you know, take him out and play with him? So what happened was, interestingly enough, he was brought in 1 hour before we got there. So if we had gone in the morning, we would have completely missed him. So only my guides and angelic realm were participating in this to make sure that it happened, that I found him, that the stars were aligned, that I found him. Number 2, before I got there, there was another family right in front of me that wanted to do the dog run with him. So when I asked her, hey, can I let him out of the cage and play with him? She goes, oh, we have another family in front of you, but she goes, I'm going to tell them that he's already taken. How did that happen? So she let me outside. They had a dog run. Frosty and I were running up and down, like in love with each other, like we've known each other forever. And she takes me aside. She goes, I'm going to tell him he's already adopted. He's yours. I'm like, what just happened? So I take him out. I pay, you know, my fee. He's already got the shots and everything. I put him in my lap, and it was like we have known each other forever. It was amazing. I mean, like, literally for that to happen, I, like, think of all the little events that had to take place for me to find him. You can only explain that by being guided by the divine. It was divine intervention. My angels and guides arranged this. And his angels and guides. So Frosty has his own set of angels and guides. So his angels and guides got with my angels and guides and higher wisdom and made this thing come together and happen. It is still amazing to me when I think about it. That is how you will find your soul animal. Just have faith and trust and believe. So I took him home and I went to work and I came home the next day and my roommate said that when I was about 15 minutes away before I came in, the dog knew I was coming home. And that's a whole nother thing that I learned. So your animal is telepathically communicating with you. That's what animal communication is. It's telepathy. So even if you don't know telepathy or animal communication, you are still getting that heart-to-heart connection. It's almost like a cord that goes out from your heart to his heart, and you're connected. You're connected in one. So he knows, they know when you're coming home. So apparently he ran outside to wait for me about 15 minutes before I ever showed up, which was like really beautiful. Anyway, Frosty and I had a beautiful love story together until he passed. So many lessons from this beautiful soul of an animal who's going to come back to me in like 3 years. So I just wanted to share that with you, that you have these beautiful, beautiful animals that give up their lives so they can be in service to you and help you through your lessons, and they will come back to you over and over and over again. So please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. To do a session, I charge $150, and the reason I charge $150 is because I do in-depth sessions. I do not do hello, goodbye, this is what your cutesy animal had to say. I do therapeutic sessions. I call myself an interspecies therapist. I do family therapy with your furry ones, and I get to the root of things, and I will talk to the animal for a minimum of 2 hours before I ever do the session with you, the human. So I've talked to animals for 4 hours before, and then our session together will be like an hour to an hour and a half. I'll give you all the notes. You don't have to record me, and I will go whatever issue that you have going on, whether it's a soul animal thing or not. I can help with behavioral issues, physical issues, health issues, finding your forever home, lost animals, end-of-life decisions, death and dying, talking to animals already passed, and also doing past life regression. And that will be really difficult lessons that you've had in this life, the ones that you're probably still working on, and how your animal plays a role, and the 3 lifetimes that you've incarnated together, what those lessons were. And I could work backwards and talk to your souls, you and your animal, from the past life, and negotiate with you that you don't have to bring that pain or those lessons forward anymore. So please book a session, animals-speak.com, and please follow and share me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a family night. So instead of watching violent movies that are not good for you, you can pull me up on the YouTube channel on your TV. It's Loli Jane Animal Communication. Loli Jane Animal Communication. LOLI and then JANE. Loli Jane Animal Communication. Put me on your TV, grab some popcorn, and good for the whole family. So, namaste, aloha, blessings to you, and I will speak to you soon. By the way, I'm going to be teaching 2 workshops. I'm going to be doing a workshop for just animal lovers that want to learn how to talk to their own animals. And then I'm going to be doing a professional training workshop with a mentoring program. And also, if you've already been trained on animal communication, contact me. I can do mentoring. If you need to know, what questions to ask or look at your cases or whatever. So please contact me, lowlyjaneanimalcommunication@gmail.com or animals-speak.com. Get on my event list, okay? And we'll talk soon, okay?